The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Go Cowboys!
This is the Players Lounge, broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now, your hosts, Barry Church, Danny McCray, Heckma Harrison, and Newey Scruggs.
Here we are, minicamp week, right here at the Star in Frisco. We're here in the SWBC podcast studios. This is the Players Lounge. We've got Heckma Harrison
in the building.
In the house. We've got Barry Church, who's right here. His golf game's getting rained out. Maybe you can get something in today. We'll see.
Heartbreaking.
With the wrong hat on your head today, I'm Newey Scruggs.
Different car. Different. My dog is shaking. Look at 3 scoops in here. 3 scoops of chocolate.
The in-season tournament championship hat. Look at that, baby. They fired the head coach, though. Man, Darvin Ham won the in-season tournament for Lakers. They got fired.
Darvin,
so. Right. So you get you a Mavs hat, man.
I do need to rock my Mavs.
Mavs are in the finals.
Thursday is going down.
Thursday in the final. Mavs are there. Stars lost last night. They are done. So we just have one team in the championship. Mini camp week, guys.
Yes, sir.
Mini camp week for the Cowboys. So June 4, 5, and 6.
Yes.
Mini camp is here, and then they're gone.
They out of here.
You get to go away. Get to enjoy the last bit of your life. Then you get back and you start training camp here. And as we go into minicamp, the top story of the day.
Yes, sir.
Heckma Harrison, Barry Church, wide receiver Justin Jefferson, 4 years, $140 million. Highest non-paid quarterback in NFL history. $110 million of it is guaranteed. If you're CeeDee Lamb, today's a good day.
Oh, 100%.
It's a good day if you're CeeDee Lamb. It's a good day if you're Micah Parsons.
Oh, you know what's coming too.
It's a good day.
It's a great day. Non-quarterbacks getting over $100 million guaranteed these days. Yeah. And look, Justin Jefferson, flat out dog. You know, one of the best, if not the best receiver in the National Football League, deservedly so. But like you said, if I'm CeeDee Lamb, I'm licking my chops to this situation. I'm like, okay, this man getting $110 million, what is that, 30, 35, 36 a year, something like that?
Yeah.
Oh, I got to get that. I got to see all of that. Because if you look at it, to me, CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, they're, 1A, 1B, whatever style you like. And if I'm CeeDee, I'm like, look, last year, Justin Jefferson was hurt a little bit, but I balled out. Yeah. I was an all-pro out there. I was leading touchdowns, catches, all that stuff. Even though teams were giving me all the attention, double team, triple team, I was still able to go out there and give you the yards and the production that he was able to go out there. So if I'm CeeDee Lamb, I'm looking at that and I'm saying I need the same amount. Nothing less. Because if you're looking at it going forward, Justin Jefferson, Minnesota, great receiver, but they got a rookie quarterback right now. What's going to be? Is he going to keep his production level going up, or is it kind of plateau right now where it's at? CeeDee Lamb, you got one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the National Football League.
Excuse me?
His production's going to keep going. His production's going to keep rolling. So if I'm CeeDee, I'm licking my chops like, I'm going to need all that, and y'all probably not going to see me until I get a piece of that.
I'm going to double down on that because I absolutely agree with you, BC. I think that we said it last week when we were talking about Justin Jefferson. I called it collusion. They talking about these contracts because they're going to be market-setting contracts.
Yeah,
and if I'm CeeDee based off of the year that he had last year and before that, I'm basically saying, look, my trajectory, it's all the way up with me, right? And kind of going back to Justin Jefferson's contract, and I think it was something we talked about pre-show, was it's a 4-year deal for him. So this is a 23-year-old guy that's going to get an opportunity to come back to the table and get even more. And so, look, this is like you said, great time to be Micah, great time to be CeeDee. But if I'm CeeDee, I want this contract. I want to see the language in this contract, and I want to say what's the difference between him and me, and that's where the rubber meets the road. Yeah. If I'm CeeDee, you got to tell me, you got to show me what's the difference between this guy and who I am and what I mean to you as a team. Now, we talked about last season, those first 4 games, CeeDee Lamb did not. The production wasn't there. And whatever the disconnect between him and Dak was, they found a way to fix that. And so you come into this season, if they're on the same page, those numbers that he could eclipse those numbers by a tremendous amount. All right. But I guess the thing that makes me uncomfortable in this situation, guys, is that how are the Cowboys going to be able to have market-setting contracts at the quarterback position, the receiver position, and the defensive position. I mean, and then you still have guys behind that, and Ferguson and Bland is still going to be wanting their paydays as well. So it's a pickle if you're the front office, but man, it's no escaping it. You're going to have to. You drafted well, and you're going to have to either pay these guys or let them go to other teams and allow them to pay them.
We said, he's going to get 30.
Throw that out the water. Throw that out the water.
Thank you. Go ahead, throw 5 on. Like, God. Oh, man. It's a good day for CeeDee Lamb. So, wow. Yeah, now it's $5 million. Oh, yesterday's price is not today's price.
That was right on.
Wow.
Right on.
Heck, here's the thing, and I kind of go into this. Teams are now having to make the decision, where do we go? The Vikings said to Kirk Cousins, no more. We're not going to do this. Mm-hmm. So Atlanta paid the freight on the contract. So they decided we're not going to do that. They've got a rookie quarterback now. So you're going to have to figure out, how do you make this puzzle work for yourself?
Right.
Lamb will be here. Mm-hmm. He's young enough. You cannot afford to let him go. Mm-hmm. I wondered if Jordan Jefferson would be in Minnesota. They decided we're going to pay the 35. We're going to do it. Parsons is not going to go anywhere. He's too young. They're not going to let him go. And the way they're acting right now, I wonder what's going to happen with the quarterback. Because when you start talking about the numbers that are here, $55 million for Prescott, $35 million for Lamb. We haven't got to what Micah Parsons is going to get yet. Oof. You bring up Jake Ferguson. Yeah. To me, that's not even. I'm not even going to entertain that. Hey man, thanks. I mean, literally, I look at Jake Ferguson, who I like as a player, but if you want to start talking about the tight end numbers and what that's going to cost you and where you've got to go, you start looking at the rest of your team. I got Tyler Smith I got to pay. Sure. I'm going to pay Tyler Smith before I pay the tight end. I can go find another Jake Ferguson. This is where I've got to go to my front office to say, hey, look, we're going to have you find some dudes for us. Yeah. Because everyone just simply cannot get paid.
That's true.
Diggs is making good money now.
Yeah.
Bland on it.
Okay. There's an interesting thing about Deron Bland. I mean, what do you do there? I put it like this. I'll pay my corner before I pay my tight end, wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
You can never have as many cover people. Yeah.
Right. So I simply can't go just find another him. Mm-hmm. All due respect, as much as I like Jake Ferguson, you've seen that you can go. You found a Dalton Schultz. You can find that. You can go do that. You have a front office that understands what type of tight end you have. Yeah, it's going to be interesting, and that's where with the quarterback, as long as the quarterback situation keeps going out here, Heckma, I'm having to wonder and ask myself, is the quarterback going to be back?
It's not even. Look, I think when it comes down to Dak, whichever side you go to with him, the inconsistency in the playoffs, you know what you get with him, all right? And regardless if Mike is here next year, this year, whatever it is, you know how solid of a player that you get those 17 games, all right? There's no sense in bartering for the future against that. To me, it's a no-brainer. You try and find a way between now and the beginning of the season to get Dak's deal done, because you can't do it. To me, you can't do anything else without getting that deal done. And if you just sit on your hands and say, look, we're not going to do anything, and you let him walk at the end of the season, then how much sense does that make? If you don't get anything, you get nothing in return in that situation. So
you're right, but what part about any of this has made sense? Why didn't you lock up CeeDee Lamb by now? Why didn't you lock him up when you could have got him at 20? Once you saw Tyreek Hill get paid, why didn't you do it then? Mm-hmm. Why didn't you pay Dak before? So as this thing keeps going on, I'm just starting to wonder who gets left by the side of the road.
Yeah. Well, look. Look, it's hard for me to go into the mind of what the front office is thinking, especially when you started the season off saying all in, all right? And nothing has been all in since you made the statement, all right? Yeah. And so this has been a very confusing offseason, to say the least, all right? We're saying, all right, less is more. Maybe somebody said less is more, all right? This is what we're going to do. But if you're not going to take care of the core players that you have, that you know that you're going to depend on, then that's the part that doesn't make any sense to me, because you can't build anything for the future around it, even as you talk about these young players, right? Getting Dak's deal done, and even if they're thinking, all right, the it's going to increase as far as the cap in the future. All right, and maybe you'll have more money to play with. If that's what I'm just trying to be in the mind of these guys. But in some way, you have to get Dak's deal done just to continue with this momentum with these young guys. You make the point about Justin Jefferson and them having a rookie quarterback. You don't know what the hell you're getting with that.
You don't.
Okay, so the trajectory, you get paid all this money, but you in Minnesota pissed.
Cold in the mouth.
You're not getting the balls, you're not getting the touchdowns, but you're getting all this money. And so how does that look as a player perception wise?
What that old Dave Chappelle gif when you get clutching that money?
Look around.
Okay.
I'm just
you can
saying.
talk about his comb. I got my quarterback. I'm clutching that 35.
Right.
I'm gonna clutch that 35 and be okay.
Okay, and that may be the last payday that you get as we start talking about players in the future, and that can have direct ramifications on you in the future. So he's going to be looking at that. But if I'm CeeDee, if I'm the Cowboys, I'm in a position right now with the quarterback that has shown me he's continuing to get better. Where did Dak let off last year?
Yeah, he got better.
He got better. MVP votes, all of that.
I agree. Second MVP voting, but why is he out here waiting on a deal?
Still waiting.
That's the part, Heckma, that I can't get out of my head because he's done everything that tells you should be signing him to a new deal.
Percent on what the deal getting done. What is your faith percentage-wise on the deal get done? Where are you right now?
See, faith is
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that, Mayor. Don't do that, Mayor. Don't do that, Mayor. I know you about to turn political on me. I just asked percentage. What is your percentage on that right now? What do you think?
60% of me says it gets done.
60%. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
60%. The 40% that's out there is I don't get it because Jerry and Troy never had to beg for dollars. Romo never had to beg for dollars. You've put Dak on a franchise tag now, and now we're sitting around here floating around trying to figure out what does he have, why isn't he signed? I mean, this reminds me of the Lamar Jackson situation in Baltimore, where some people believe there was collusion across the league about getting that done. But he can leave. You got nothing at the end. Why would you even want to play this game? I don't understand. He did everything, in my opinion, outside of winning in the playoffs that you want him to do. And oh, by the way, Lamar Jackson didn't do it either.
No.
He won the MVP. The guy won the MVP. Both dudes laid eggs. So that, for me, I don't understand.
It makes no sense.
Jalen Hurts, they wrote the check. No problem. Justin Herbert, they wrote the check. No problem. What's the problem here? That's what I don't. Kirk Cousins got a check.
Yeah.
Coming off an injury. Jerry, please tell me why you're quarterback. And you're the dude, since you bought the team in 89 when you drafted Troy Aikman and gave him a record-setting coverage, you're the guy who always pays his people.
Yeah.
Is it the fact that I understand, fourth rounder, but this was way back. He's turned himself into an all-pro MVP candidate.
He led the league in
it's just
touchdown
weird
passes.
that they're making him, like you said, beg for these dollars when you got guys, and Herbert's my boy, has never won a playoff game.
Yeah.
I can see Hurts, he took him to the Super Bowl, but these other guys, Kirk Cousins, like you just named, they got stats, but there's just no production with it.
Goff just got paid.
Yes.
Goff. And nothing against him. But we know they have assembled a team where there's a lot of help. Hey, we big up front. We got some running backs we've invested in. So they're not asking him to go be Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers. They're not asking him to be that. He got the cash. This is just weird to me. That's why I got the 40% out here because I've never seen Jerry operate in this fashion with his quarterback.
That's the disconnect between the fan base and the front office is when you start saying, as far as Dak is concerned, that he's basically like he's dancing for his meal, right? But he is still when he got his deal, he reset the market for quarterbacks at his deal. Now time is going on. You would have liked for that deal to have been done last year, so you didn't have to worry about this. And these are the things. All you're talking about, dragging your feet.
That's it.
That's it. Because that got paid. And he's going to continue to get paid. All right. And so he's waiting on another, because anybody that's sitting out there, what do you mean? That got paid top quarterback salary in the league at the time that he got
Kyler
that.
Murray got paid, guys.
He did.
That's
Kyler
what
Murray.
yes.
And they got to put a clause. Hey, man, we need you to look in this.
Those are all those other things. All those other things
Think
don't.
about that.
There's these things are not even applicable to Dak because the guy has a football field in his backyard. All right, so you're not worried about him and his dedication to the game. All we're saying is you can't get any of these other deals done until you pay this guy, and everybody knows.
But maybe
that.
the belief is different in the front office.
You can pay CeeDee Lamb first.
Right now.
You can.
Okay.
You can do that.
Okay.
If you wanted to pay, you could do it. I mean, you paid Diggs. I mean, if you wanted to go ahead and say, we're going to go here first, they can do that.
Yeah, that would destroy your cap from where your cap hit is with Dak. That's all I'm saying.
They did it. They did it before he signed last time around. They signed some other guys, so you can do it. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to the three of us here. Like, why would you do this in a league that's a quarterback league? How come you haven't gone ahead and say, boom, we're taking care of you? But if you want to sit around here, eat your French fries first, and go ahead eat the broccoli, and then we'll get to the steak later on.
Yeah,
I don't get it, and it boggles my mind because this is not. I'm so much about history and looking at past things that people do. This is not the Joneses. Man, Tony, you played with Tony. Tony never had to sing for no supper. Wrote the checks every single time.
Flip-flops and all. But do you think the front office thought those were the guys and they're still out on Prescott? I mean, that has to be the only. That could be the only, like, because
that's
he's
the
your
40%.
guy.
That's the 40%. There's somewhere along the way, there's a question mark in your head.
So I guess what you're saying is you're in a wait and see situation with this season with Dak.
That's the only.
They've done it before.
That's the only I can think of.
No,
they've done it
not.
before. They made the man play on a franchise tag.
I think you're beyond that point now. I think before I may have agreed with you, but I think you're beyond that point, especially after last season. Especially after
why ain't they getting them? Why ain't they penning the paper? If he's the guy,
that's the $1 million question. I mean, this should get done, and that's why I asked the question: what's your percentage of getting the deal done? You say 60%. I believe the deal gets done before we go to camp.
So what's your percentage?
I'm 75.
You're saying before camp. See,
yeah.
I'm just period.
Oh, so you say he might go into the season without?
That's crazy.
We've seen it before, though. We've seen this before. I mean, so we're not talking about something that hasn't made us scratch our heads.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's so out of character. So out of character for what they're doing. I don't get it. And we'll dive into this next. They're paying Trey Lance $5.3 million, and they're talking about him in a positive light.
Oh, man.
We'll talk about that. And is Micah Parsons a leader? There was a column written about that. Barry Church is laughing, but we'll dive into that next with Hector Harris on the New Express Players Lounge right here on DallasCowboys.com radio.
Oh, Trey out here. What I tell you.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
Hi, I'm Danny McCray, Dallas Cowboys alumni player here with Smoothie King. And Smoothie King wants to ask you, what's that sound? That's the sound of us magically transforming our smoothie bowls into 2 new decadent flavors. Dig into a cool acai or pitaya bowl, handcrafted with crunchy, purely Elizabeth granola, fresh strawberries, and finished with a velvety chocolate hazelnut drizzle. Perfect for breakfast, lunch, or anytime you want to munch. And that's the sound of you making them disappear. Smoothie bowls, now in 2 new decadent flavors. Only at Smoothie King, the official smoothie of the Dallas Cowboys.
To kick off the 2023 NFL season, Hugo Boss teamed up with the NFL and Micah Parsons to launch an iconic apparel collection featuring hoodies, crews, t-shirts, polos, joggers, and more. The bold, unique apparel of the Boss NFL collection unites football and fashion while reflecting what it truly means to be a boss. Get yours today at nflshop.com/HugoBoss, at HugoBoss.com, and at Boss retail stores. #BeYourOwnBoss.
There is no I in Dallas. There is no I in Hart either. No I in Blue Star or in Lone Star for that matter. And there's no I in how about them Cowboys? Smirnoff knows there's no I in football. Football is a we thing, an experience that is best enjoyed together. With good drinks and good folks, home or away, we rally together. We cry together. And we always rally cry together because there's definitely no I in Cowboys fans. Smirnoff, we do game days. Please drink responsibly.
To the Players Lounge.
The schedule is set and limited tickets for the 2024 Dallas Cowboys season at AT&T Stadium are available now. Don't miss your chance to see your Cowboys live at AT&T Stadium when they host the NFC East rival Blue Eagles, Giants, and Commanders, plus the Saints, Ravens, Lions, Texans, Bengals, and Bucks. Visit DallasCowboys.com/tickets or SeatGeek.com, the official primary ticketing partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Thank you, Heckma Harrison. It is mandatory minicamp week here at the Star. Cowboys getting after it June 4, 5, and 6. Head coach Mike McCarthy is going to be in year 2 of his offense here. So that, to me, should be exciting if you're Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb, who had a great connection last year, being all pro players, of what they could do year 2 of this. Trey Lance is the backup quarterback. He was and spoke about him once again. Mike McCarthy was a lot of positive things to say, that they're going to push him heavily for preseason, preseason camp out here.
Just disrespecting my guy out here, man. Now he's my guy, but before he wasn't.
Yeah,
but they disrespected him. Like, how you just go? What has he done? What has Trey done to be like? All right, we're gonna slide him in there. We're gonna push and see what he got. I understand preseason, all that camp. But what has he done?
Can't done anything.
For him to just be next in line, the heir apparent. Besides being a first round pick, like, all right, so if he was a 4th or 5th round pick, are we still doing like we? No. Come on, he's had opportunities. Last year he was here, didn't scratch the surface. Now all of a sudden he's gonna be out there, the Trey package, read option. I'm dealing these things. Me and CD I don't see it, man. I see the disrespect for Cooper.
No, and I respect that coming from you as a former player. I think you understand that that's probably how the locker room is speaking too. What has this guy done? Has he even because Cooper Rush has already shown you, he's giving you that time-proof and consistency that if all hell breaks loose, he can come in and be a guy that could be a gap for the 4 or 5 games and pull out some quality wins for you. Like, what else is Mike McCarthy supposed to say about Trey Lance?
That's true.
Would he come out and say this guy's garbage? He's stinking it up. He's going to come out and say, look, we've made some modifications to his throwing motion, and he's getting rid of the ball a lot quicker now. He's reading defenses a lot better now. We've taken a gamble on this guy, and we got to at least talk him up if he's going to have any equity for us to move on from in the future. Yeah. So, look, it's all just coaches speak to me. I didn't buy too much into that. Now, these preseason games, you'll get an opportunity to see Trey. Yeah. You'll trigger Trey. See him go out there and see how he maneuvers.
You're not right. You're not right.
Look at the release.
Look at the release.
Trigger Trey. Just stop.
I just don't want to hear anything about the athleticism. Man, come on, man.
Come on, dog.
We'll see what he got.
Knowing what he's supposed to do. I know it's your man and all, and we waiting on the debut.
We gotta see what he got, man.
The second coming. You know what I'm saying? The reincarnation.
Randall Cunningham.
Yeah, I'm saying. Shaman.
Nobody wants to trust in Mike. Trust in the program.
Mike threw it out there.
With my 40% being out here, talked about, I think 60% that they will sign Dak Prescott. The 40% is a part of that is Trey Lance here. A part of that, to me, it's a part of the factoring in here.
Yeah.
Because I've chatted with a couple folks. So I still think they would like to get Dak done. I think that's what they want to do.
Yeah.
But clearly, they're working on plan B. And if plan B is Lance Rush, the ticket, the Lance Rush ticket, they're going to run it for office in 2025.
Oh, my God.
Then maybe that's what they do. But at this point in time, you cannot just dismiss it and say, nah, it's not going to happen.
The Lance Rush tour.
Yikes. stranger things have happened.
Yeah, like Tony Romo becoming the starting quarterback. Because I remember when Tony Romo came in here with Terrence Newman and was the fourth quarterback that you thought was going to get cut until they cut Quincy. Yeah. So we've seen crazier things happen around here. I just don't think you should laugh off Trey Lance. Don't laugh at Trey Lance off don't laugh at him like that, man.
He gonna come in here.
Don't laugh at Hunter Lipke like that. Don't laugh, man. I'm just trying to tell you. Don't laugh. Don't laugh, man.
I'm gonna come off the couch when I see him.
What? If I Trey out here, dotting boys up. I just can't see it personally. We'll see though.
I'm not.
Why?
Because he hadn't done it before.
Yeah, we haven't seen him.
He hadn't done it before. And look, you're big on this time proof and consistency thing, and we've seen it from Cooper Rush. And I just look.
You're right.
You're making me go accordion hands on you right now, man. Don't do that.
And so when you go Cooper Rush, okay, I go back to what he did within McCarthy's program. Because I saw what he was here under your boy JG.
Don't do JG like that.
Just say. He even took him to New York and couldn't get nothing out of him.
He was young.
McCarthy was the guy who got something out of Cooper Rush.
I'll give you that.
Okay?
I'll give you that.
So the man's program, he's showing. I'm just more or less saying, guys, as long as this Dak contract hangs out here the way it's hanging out here, because when he gets to free agency, they can't stop it.
No.
They can't stop it.
Over with.
Right. It's over with. And so then it becomes a point of, hey man, who's gonna give me the most money? How do I feel? I mean, you're going. You let him go, he may not come back. And so if that's the case, then that means Lance Rush may be what you go with as your quarterback. It is a possibility.
Oh, for sure, it's definitely.
And I'm putting it in a 40% possibility right now because I don't know.
And that gray area to me, based off of the contracts that you're putting together, the team that you coming off of the 3 seasons that you've had, why would you blow that up for a lesser known commodity in Trey Lance? To me, even if like Mike McCarthy right now, he's in his last year on his contract, he can't put his faith in Trey Lance right now. Your best way to get there is through Dak. Having a great season. That's
yes. What you say, okay, Heckma, I'm not debating you. What you say makes sense, but it also doesn't make sense that your head coach, who's only Andy Reid the last 3 years has won more regular season games than him, is sitting around here singing for his supper. Yeah. That your quarterback, who led the league in touchdown passes, second to the MVP, is singing. None of this makes sense. Nah. But this is what the owner has laid out, and so if he's laid this out here, you have to say, okay, they could not be back because he's left the door open for that to happen. Cannot ignore that.
And Jerry, we trust. I mean, like you always said, he's never let somebody leave that he's wanted. And he's paid weapons out here. We talked about this last week.
And, oh, by the way, if Mike McCarthy has a really good year, guess what he can do too? But just like Dak. Let me ease on out this door and find something better if I want to.
He could re-up. He could definitely
re-up, or he could go walk. If he has another, let's say, 10-win season, that'd be 4 years in a row, 10-plus win seasons in this league.
Yeah.
And we all know this is a different kind of franchise to work for. You remember your time in Jacksonville.
Yeah, it's night and day.
Right. It's a whole lot going on around here that Mike McCarthy is going to show and prove that he... Heckma, it doesn't make any sense.
No.
We agree it doesn't make sense.
I don't know.
But this is what has been allowed to happen.
Yeah, from the beginning with Mike McCarthy, I said it coming into this offseason that was the one deal that to me didn't make sense, that didn't get done to get him get his deal redone because that didn't have anything to do with the salary cap or anything like that. And he's been successful. I just think it's the playoffs that is plaguing him right now. And if he does exactly what you just said, and then he's not the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys in 2025 after winning 4 consecutive.
Dan Campbell got a deal. I mean, think about that.
Well,
I mean, so when you think about, okay, the body of work. I mean, Mike McCarthy is a Super Bowl coach who's come here and taken over for your man and done an out. Take away the first year, COVID year. The guy's been on point.
He coached his butt off.
He's been coaching, and you got to sit around here. It doesn't make sense. Let's get our last break in here. When we come back, is Micah Parsons a leader? The question was asked by the Dallas Morning News. We'll dive into that next right here on The Players Lounge, DallasCowboys.com radio.
To kick off the 2023 NFL season, Hugo Boss teamed up with the NFL and Micah Parsons to launch an iconic apparel collection featuring hoodies, crews, t-shirts, polos, joggers, and more. The bold, unique apparel of the Boss NFL collection unites football and fashion while reflecting what it truly means to be a boss. Get yours today at nflshop.com/HugoBoss, at HugoBoss.com, and at Boss retail stores. Hashtag be your own boss.
Hi, I'm Danny McCray, Dallas Cowboys alumni player here with Smoothie King. And Smoothie King wants to ask you, what's that sound? That's the sound of us magically transforming our smoothie bowls into 2 new decadent flavors. Dig into a cool acai or pitaya bowl, handcrafted with crunchy, purely Elizabeth granola, fresh strawberries, and finished with a velvety chocolate hazelnut drizzle. Perfect for breakfast, lunch, or anytime you want to munch. And that's the sound of you making them disappear. Smoothie bowls, now in 2 new decadent flavors. Only at Smoothie King, the official smoothie of the Dallas Cowboys.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the Playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
And they snap it to Prescott, who looks right. It's not there. He escapes left. He'll run for a first down.
Just like football, when it comes to crypto, it's important to have a team you can trust. With blockchain.com, I know I'm in good hands. Since 2011, they've been trusted by millions around the world to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency.
Prescott's going to run this himself. Run it up the middle, and he scores.
Whether you're new to crypto or an active trader, they've got you covered. What are you waiting for? Get started at blockchain.com.
Back to the Players Lounge.
Join us for the 3rd annual Dallas Cowboys Juneteenth celebration presented by Miller Lite. Head to Miller Lite House at AT&T Stadium on Saturday, June 15th from 3 to 7 p.m. to enjoy live entertainment and shop local Black-owned businesses. For more information on this free event, visit attstadium.com/Juneteenth, which is also, by the way, my 20th wedding anniversary. We gave y'all a federal holiday.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Appreciate the Harrisons.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Congratulations, Heckma Harrison.
Yes,
20.
Yes, sir.
20.
Yes, sir. He is Barry Church.
Yes,
I'm Louis
sir.
Scruggs, Players Lounge. Mandatory minicamp is this week, so Micah Parsons is required to be here June 4, 5, 6. He has not been here for the OTAs, which is that's voluntary, okay? Yeah. And to quote the great Darren Hammer, I was there when he said it to me. What do voluntary mean? Back in Valley Range.
What do? Heavy on the do.
What do voluntary mean? So what it do? David Moore, the Dallas Morning News, came up with a column. Says Dallas Cowboys Micah Parsons is a star. That does not mean he is a leader. Says no one should question Micah Parsons' drive to be great. Now, if you want to question his credentials as a leader, that's fair game. After the Cowboys got drilled 48-35 to the Green Bay Packers, Parsons said, quote, I want to change the culture. I want to change the identity of what the Cowboys are. Cut the charades out. Cut out the extra stuff. I just want people to lock in for 22 or whatever weeks. Parsons has decided not to participate in the offseason the OTAs. He's been training, but he came to the Star last week to cut promos.
I know you.
So
I can't make it up.
I'm puffy. I'm all in the video, all in the background.
That's
singing, dancing.
You have to retire that one.
Everybody else out there practicing. I just put on my stuff and I go.
The boys look hot out there,
Hey, man. You gotta be there for the NBC intros and the Jumbotron, dog. What are you doing?
I can't stop, won't stop. So,
gotta make it happen.
And that's where Moore is like, showing up at the Star to shoot a video, then pointedly not practicing with your teammates is another thing. The optics are not good. It says they weren't good on Thursday when Parsons posted on X while his teammates were practicing at the Ford Center due to rain. So that's where David Moore's column comes in and says, yeah, he's a star, but is he much of a leader? Let's start with you, former player Barry Church.
I ain't going to say, he's a bad leader, a great leader. there's things that he does out there to where myself, as a former captain, I wouldn't have done. But, it's a new age and a new time with these players, getting their brands out there and being all in the spotlight and all that good stuff. But something, resonated with me a little bit when you said, we 22 weeks, we need to lock in, we need to do this and that. But at the same time, after each game, he's doing these podcasts and bringing up these bullet board materials, which is the extraness. If you want to be locked in, be locked in. And, I think he's a leader as regards to his play on the field. Like, if y'all want to be great, follow me. And he's done that. He's lifted up everybody else's game on that defense by just being out there on the football field. There's little things here and there that he may need to, mature a little bit in. But overall, I think he's a young guy out there, doing what he can to get this defense to the right position. On the field play is outstanding. Off the field, a little bit here and there maybe needs to work on, but I'm not going to say he's a bad leader overall. I just think he needs to mature a little bit, and he will. He's a young player in the game.
They didn't say bad. They just said he's not a leader. You're a star, but not a leader.
Yeah. Okay, I understand. Okay. I understand that.
There are some people who felt that Tony Romo was a star, but he wasn't a leader. Okay?
Yeah.
So this is not something uncommon across sports where people will say, hey, star player, but that's not the guy that people are going to go follow. Troy Aikman was a great player, but people felt the heartbeat of the team was Michael Irvin. Not to say Troy wasn't a leader, because we all know 8-Ball was.
Yeah.
So what David Moore laid out was a case that said, you're saying one thing, but you're doing another.
Yeah. Being a leader, and I just go back to what you said, Barry, because I think a lot of that comes from the experience as a former player. Mm-hmm. You talk about the locker room, the bulletin board material, and things that you just don't give your team that you're playing ammo against you. And we're in a new age. These guys have podcasts. They have endorsement deals. They're all protecting their brand because those are the things that that's not connected to the team. It's theirs. And so, look, it's the people that are the old guard. I'm not calling you old, but the old guard that just basically says, look, that's not what us football players do. We don't, after a game, there's no interviews. You lock in for the week ahead. The one guy on this team that I am not worried about is number 11. The bazooka. I'm not worried about him. He has 40.5 sacks in 3 seasons. I am not worried about him. I need everybody else to lock in on how you play with number 11. Now, I'm not going to judge him on these OTAs. I'm not going to say it. How many players have we had that have skipped OTAs and came in and had phenomenal seasons? Nobody's talking about that week 5, week 8, where he missed voluntary training.
Week 5 against San Francisco?
Week 5 against San Francisco.
What did he do?
Yeah, this is what I'm saying to you.
What did he do?
What I'm saying to you is that's the one guy. That's the one guy that I'm not worried about, because I need these other 10 guys to support number 11 and make it where you can't double team this guy. If you're double teaming on one side, Sam Williams, I need you to beat your guy.
I'll come back to you and simply say this: is the way we're talking about Dak, rightfully so, and not performing against San Francisco and not and performing against Green Bay in the playoffs. We can say the same thing about number 11. Where were you?
Yeah.
And when people want to throw out the Lawrence Taylor comparisons and brother, where are you at?
Yeah.
Because legitimately,
have you forgot? Look, wait a minute.
He is right. Okay. You want to look, Dak Prescott legitimately criticized for what happened in the playoffs. Micah should be as well. Okay. Where were you? You certainly not TJ Watt out there. When you want to compare yourself to these other dudes who actually have Defensive Player of the Year awards and you don't, you leave yourself open, Heckma, is what Mr. Moore is saying. When you decide you want to do these things, you leave yourself open.
I get it. And look, and Barry, I guess my question to you is, as who has played, you yourself playing with dogs and guys in this league that have played at a high level, you know what this guy is going to bring each and every week, but you also know that these offensive coordinators have schemed up. You're on one side of the ball. We've seen what you guys are doing. We're going to scheme up for you. We're going to run directly at you. This is what you're going to do.
That don't happen to TJ Watt or Myles Garrett? Ain't happening to them?
That's a whole different – look, let's go into the body type. Let's go into the type of defense that they play. Let's go into all that. Are you built for that? We've been talking about this guy at defensive end versus linebacker since he's been in the league. So it's not exploratory to say, when you say T.J. Watt or the guy in Cleveland, these are true 3-4 defensive ends.
Chris Jones.
Oh, come on now.
What?
Come on. Wait a
disruptor?
minute. So Chris Jones in Kansas City. Well, I'm talking about a defensive end and Micah Parsons, who is significant. He is an edge rusher. And what he was last season was almost like a one-trick pony where you put him out there on the edge and said, look, get after the quarterback. What did San Francisco do differently? They ran right at him.
What did Yoda say? Do or do not. There is no try.
This said Yoda ain't never put on no helmet and got out there and did what Micah's doing. So you're not going to tell me that Micah's slipping when he's got 40.5. And also, by the way, there's only one other guy by the name of White that is done what this guy is doing. So in comparison, to say that he's not a leader is off base. You need to find somebody else to talk about because this guy right here, he him.
He is that guy.
Him.
He is that guy.
The Packers didn't think so.
But I'm about to say, but to Newey's point, that he
against San Francisco, what was he
shown up in the playoffs?
The criticism of Dak Prescott is legitimate, but you can also.
But you don't put any of the onus on any of those other guys.
But you can also put it on Micah Parsons. If you want to talk about I'm defensive player of the year, I'm this, I'm that. Where were you in the biggest games? Lawrence Taylor was always there in the biggest games. T.J. Watt being there, he's out there winning awards, getting there. Myles Garrett is too. That's all I'm saying. If you want to say I'm this, I'm that,
he is.
Then I need to see this when it counts the most.
Moments, yeah.
It's Connor McDavid for the Edmonton Oilers. They're getting it done. It's Luka Doncic. It's Kyrie Irving getting it done.
So
we got to get it done.
So basically, what you're saying about Micah is that he's being perceived as this superstar in the league, but when the moments are biggest, he disappears.
Right now, when I look at the playoffs. He wasn't the player he needed to be. The quarterback wasn't the player he needed to be.
Hell, it was 20 other guys that wasn't the players that they needed to be. That's what I'm saying. You got more guys out there on the field that didn't play either.
They're not about to break the bank, are they?
Okay. All right. Okay.
No? That's true.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay.
You get They all.
There's no support. I mean, where's Tito? Where's Jermaine? You know what I mean? Come on, man.
We gonna beat up on Marlon.
Hey, what are you doing?
Marlon, you not moonwalking. We ain't paying to see Marlon. We pay to see Michael. Okay, that's what we pay to see. So what we talking about is the best players. Okay, when you want to win these championships, you need your best players to play.
Absolutely.
Like Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. Hey, man, get it there. Chris Jones for Kansas City in the Super Bowl. Go ahead and get it done. The quarterback, the wide receiver, and the defensive end, your star players, did not get it done against Green Bay. They did not get it done against San Francisco. Those are legitimate things. And as I'm covering the Mavericks right now, all I can sit up here and say is I saw Kyrie, I saw Luka go do their thing. That's what everybody else.
They elevated.
When I covered the Rangers, I saw Corey Seager go out there and go get his thing done. I saw Nate Eovaldi go. You need your best players, especially when I'm about to write you a check as big as anything. I need you to get.
I like what you said there because even in putting it in a basketball analogy, now with the Mavericks going up against Boston, who has one of the top rosters in the NBA, what are you going to get from guys like Lively? What are you going to get from these other guys, these role players that now can't just separate themselves and go quietly into the season? They got to play. And so guys like Tank Lawrence, Deron Bland, Stephon Gilmore, you had a lot of guys that let you down in that game. It wasn't just Micah. So that's what I'm saying. So when you go back and you point to that, don't discount the fact that this guy has 40.5 sacks, 13 last season, and come on, man. It was on a tear and it pace to be the defensive MVP of the league.
But when they win, do we say, hey, Deron Bland had even though Parsons had 8 sacks, Deron Bland did his thing too? Or are we all saying.
How many sacks he had against Buffalo?
Come on. All right.
I mean,
you're right. You're right.
The criticism against the Cowboys was, what were you doing against these teams who could run the ball on you and who were good?
Yeah.
Where did you put your stats up? That was said for the quarterback. I mean, the whole outfit.
And that's where the whole argument about playing him at linebacker versus defensive end comes into play. Because that's the way the teams have schemed it up versus Micah. And he has to be tougher to that degree this season more than ever.
We're not doubting his talent.
Oh, he's a great
player. We're not doubting he is one of the great players in the league. What we are saying is, hey, man, when these playoff games are here, when these big games are here, right now, you're not coming up with enough. And you have to come up with more. because that's what the great ones do. And I am one of those who refuses to even think and talk about him in the class of Lawrence Taylor, because I just think Lawrence Taylor's out there, okay? When I think about the best defensive players in the game, it's going to be Lawrence Taylor's Joe, the linebacker spot is Joe Green. These dudes, when you turn on the tape, man, they were tossing folks in the biggest moments. The Super Bowl, just tossing people, man. You got to get there. You can't just keep talking about it. You got to get there.
Micah Parsons is leaving left tackles in his. Come on, man! You see how this guy is running by people. You're taking isolated games and you're saying, "Look, this is a game you didn't show up in," but you're not talking about the games where he had 2 sacks. You're not talking about the games where
yes.
Come on, man. But see, that's what I'm saying. That's easy to do. That's easy to do. But you're not going to discount Micah. The bazooka. You're not going to do it. I'm not going to let you do it, dog.
Go ahead. I'm going to let you have that cake.
I'm going to cut it, too. I'm going to cut it, too. Hey, I just said cake. But that cape, put it on me, dog. Ain't no way.
I don't know. Heckman, fun stuff. Fun stuff.
Knew would twist it.
Hey, Chris Bean, Jazz, everybody. This was fun. Thank you for checking about the Players Lounge right here on DallasCowboys.com radio.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!